What is going on? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk, everyone. So let's get straight to it. Got an exciting episode today. I want to get to the top DFS plays for this Sunday. I also want to break down some of the picks against the spreads. I want to talk a little bit of NFL football. It's going to be like we're going to shift more into like some full episodes and not just like a video on one, not just as many clips on just one specific topic, but a variety of it. So the name of the game here. Let's get straight to it. So top DFS plays of the week. This is for the Sunday slate, like the main featured slate. So I don't want to hear in the comments, where are the Thursday night guys, where are the Monday night guys. So this is just for the Sunday slate, the main slate. So the 1 p.m., 4 o'clock games, not the Sunday night, not the Thursday night, and not the Monday night. Obviously, I'm recording this Friday, so the Thursday night games over with Jacksonville and Miami, so I'll touch on that briefly. But at quarterback, Matt Ryan, I think, is a guy that'll go off this week at 6,600. The Chicago Bears defense is just, it's not that great, really. It's kind of been shaky. Really, in that second half of the Detroit game is when they've stepped up a little bit, but I think this is a defense that's not the same what it was a couple years ago. And, the Falcons are a team that really should be 1-1 right now, and Ryan is still balling. He's got his main man, Calvin Ridley, who's putting up big numbers, and hopefully Julio Jones is healthy. But I could see Matt Ryan having a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown game. So Matt Ryan, a guy to watch out for. Jared Goff also pretty good value this week. Jared Goff's price has been down a little bit. I think at 5,600, I'm picking the Rams to beat the Bills. Josh Allen and the Bills have looked good, but they haven't really played anyone great. And I think this is at least a 2-touchdown game for Jared Goff. And, I think definitely could easily be a 3-touchdown game for 5,600 if you're in tournaments and you want to save a little bit of money at quarterback. Jared Goff is, a guy to really watch out for. Also, Teddy Bridgewater at 5,200, and he's very cheap. His play's been okay. I don't think Teddy's been too bad. And this is a Carolina Panthers team who was Dante Jackson said that's going to keep fighting. And obviously no McCaffrey. But you know what? I think they'll throw the ball more. And I think, Teddy Bridgewater will do some good things at 5,200 if you're in tournaments and you want a cheaper play so you can get some more big names in the lineup. I think Teddy Bridgewater is, your guy. At running back, Jonathan Taylor really got going last week, 101 yards and a touchdown. He's got a great matchup this week. And I think he's a guy to first the Vikings lock in and or not. Who does Taylor play this week? My bad. But bottom line is Taylor's getting the ball more. He's going to get the work. He's going to be the workhorse, I think, moving forward. So he's a guy to lock in. Austin Eckler versus Carolina. The Carolina defense isn't very good, and I think that Eckler could be the guy. It's tough you can't decide whether it's going to be him or Josh Kelly that's going to get the work. But Eckler at 6,800, I think he has a big game. Eckler looked really good last week against the Chiefs, even though it wasn't like a big he didn't have a big game stat-wise. He made there's one play he made the guy miss, and ended up, he makes plays out of nothing, and he just fights for every yardage. I think Eckler's due to break one big this week. Also, DeAndre Hopkins at 7,900 versus the Detroit Lions. I think, Hopkins will feast. I mean, this is a Detroit secondary with a lot of injuries, and, Kyler Murray just loves getting him the ball. So, Hopkins, if you want to pay a little bit more at 7,900, I would do it. So, plain and simple. DK Metcalf just, it seems like every weekend he makes a big play. And versus Dallas at 6,500, I think Metcalf continues in that trend against, a Cowboys secondary that isn't elite by any standards. I think Metcalf gets you a big play. So if you want to go that direction, and DK Metcalf. Also, I think he's a guy that's getting towards matchup proof, honestly, because last week against Gilmore, he, played pretty well against as tough a matchup as you'll see against Stephon Gilmore, the reigning defensive MVP last year of the league. And also Cooper Kupp versus Buffalo at 6,300. Cooper Kupp is a very consistent guy, and this is against a Bills secondary that is, if he draws Levi Wallace is a corner that's really struggled this year. So Cooper Kupp is a guy to watch out for. And at the tight end position, Tyler Higbee at 5,900. I think that's a good stack with him and Jared Goff. Higbee 3 touchdowns last week, and this is a guy that just keeps improving. He's kind of picked up where he's left off from last year. And Dallas Goedert 4,900 versus Cincinnati. Had a good game week 1 against Washington, and then kind of had a down week last week. But this is a pretty good matchup against the Bengals defense that is just still not great at all. And Wentz really likes to go to him. Even it looks like he's becoming more of his favorite target at tight end instead of Zach Ertz. But, yeah. And defenses I like, the 49ers, Colts, Titans are some of, guys I like. And, I've really watched the Jets a couple times. I want to transition to this. I've watched the Jets a couple times this year, and this is just a bad organization overall. Adam Gase, I don't know how he still has a coaching gig. This guy is just terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing offensively. He's kind of like Patricia. He's one of those guys that really thinks he's better than he is. I mean, he's just garbage, and something in his head thinks he's good. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just that stupid or just that arrogant. But the Jets, the drafting. What's crazy is the drafting has been so up and down. Finally, the 1 year, I think Jamal Adams, that was almost a no-brainer, but when you're as bad of an organization, like the Lions or the Bills or Jets, Bills obviously picked it up, but the point is their drafting wasn't very long. You tend to miss on guys even as obvious as Jamal Adams, but Adams was their major bright spot. He's gone. And then after, even the next round pick was like, they took another safety. It's like, why would you do that? But, and then this year or last year, they had overpaid Le'Veon Bell, who was hurt. And then CJ Mosley opted out. Quinnen Williams has been okay. He was a top 5 pick that I thought would have been better. But Sam Darnold's been shaky at times. And it's just, this offensive line is just bad. You got Mekhi Becton is, improved it. But, this is a team that, it looks like they're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, but, it's kind of one of those things like I've talked with my dad, and if the Lions or the Jets get Trevor Lawrence, obviously there's a lot of excitement, but does that really help a bad franchise that much, just getting one guy? If, your GM doesn't know what he's doing, you continue to still draft bad, you continue to overpay players, it's kind of just one of those things. But and then you look at Jacksonville, which is kind of I'd say Jacksonville has been an interesting franchise the past few years, because this is a team that is really not drafted bad by any means. You look at they did take Blake Bortles first round that 1 year, but after that it was Telvin Smith, Yannick Ngakoue, Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Fournette. They really hit on all these guys in the first round, but what's crazy is all of them are gone now. From the team that went to the AFC Championship game back in the 17-18 season, Myles Jack is the only remaining player, which is kind of just crazy to me on that defense. And then, CJ Henderson, Kayvon Chason look good. But, I didn't like, they've drafted well this year. I didn't really like Gardner Minshew, but it looks like he's a competitor. So, this is really just interesting to me, how Jacksonville, has drafted well, and then they find a way to, their players are just gone now. You find a way to just, from being bad, all your players just end up leaving. But, it's kind of wild to me. This is, I don't think Marone is really the answer as coach. And, what's crazy is they're just not that well of a run organization, but they've still drafted well. They seem to, have a good evaluation of, defensive talent. I think C.J. Henderson's a great young corner. Kayvon Chason is a great, defensive end, and can, potentially turn into one of the better, pass rushing defensive ends in the NFL. But, I look at the Texans too, and that Bill O'Brien now as their GM that's just not going well. That trade is looking worse and worse from the Texans. You see now how crucial DeAndre Hopkins was, because, they brought in Brandon Cooks trying to think that he would cover up, some of the Hopkins, some of the the flaws now with the offense with Hopkins leaving, but that's not really been the case. This team has no go-to wide receiver, and you've seen Hopkins Deshaun Watson just can't make any plays. But yeah, you see there's a lot of the errors these teams made, and it's just too bad because like the Jets, you bring in Jamal Adams, and Jacksonville drafted so well for a few years, but you see just some of these players just don't want to play for bad organizations these days. That's kind of just how it goes. But so next one I'll get to, I really like Justin Herbert. There was one when I went back and watched some of the tape on Herbert, there was one throw that really stood out to me, and that was that 3rd and goal from the 14-yard line where he just threw a strike. The corner was in zone coverage, and he just threw a strike to the outside, right where only the corner, or right where only the receiver could get it, just high and a dart to the outside. A lot of times if you have a quarterback with a weaker arm, or he kind of just floats it, that corner has time to recover, intercept it, and that just shows like the special talent that Justin Herbert has. Really, like, to make a throw like that, that just really shows the potential he has. I really liked his poise. He seems so calm out there. You got to be nervous. Your first start is against the Super Bowl team, the Kansas City Chiefs. that's a lot of pressure, honestly. I don't know, as a 22-year-old kid, I don't know how I would handle that. That is just but I really liked his poise, and Herbert, I think, is a guy that's just going to compete, and you draft him that high to play him, so they put him in. It was not a matter of if, or not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's too bad about Tyrod Taylor, the story that the doctor reportedly punctured his lung. I think that's kind of ridiculous, but it's starting to look more and more like that's why Anthony Lynn came out and said that Tyrod's our guy, because it was kind of just like, man, a doctor's mistake could potentially cost you your starting job. And, so it looks like they're going to give Tyrod Taylor another go, but the future looks potentially bright with Justin Herbert. He's got to clean up some errors. Like I said, the throw where he threw across his body instead of just taking the first down, that's one thing he's going to have to clean up and, learn from. But, Herbert overall, there's a chance. You see a chance in him. You see potential to succeed in this league, and the hit he took, popping back up. You see his toughness. So I've liked what I've seen from Justin, and I want to continue to. He's a guy. It's kind of like a movie where. It's kind of like a movie that just keeps you on your toes and keeps you guessing, or like one of those Netflix shows that ends on a cliffhanger. You want to see more. Maybe you just started watching this show and you don't really like it that much, but you're anxious to see more. Or kind of like some drama you hear about, whether it's in the workplace or. You just maybe you don't really care. Maybe your day's been boring, but you're kind of just interested to see more from it. That's kind of like what I see in Justin Herbert. But Thursday night football, Jacksonville did not look like they wanted to be there. They kind of just looked like it was like it was Thursday night. You're just trying to get through the week. But a short week, and a game I think that game against Tennessee took a lot out of them. That was a divisional game. I think they were hungry to win that game. Made a heroic comeback, down 24-10 at one point, and just came up just short. But Ryan Fitzpatrick wanted this one. You see, he's battling for his job right now. You know how it goes. Like with Justin Herbert, people want to see Tua Tagovailoa play, and when you're fighting for your job, every game you got to play your best, and that extra chip on your shoulder, that motivation can be huge. And Devontae Parker played last night. He wasn't 100% healthy, but kind of gave C.J. Henderson the work a little bit. Did a good job of getting enough separation to make some catches for him, drawing that pass interference play in the end zone, which is crucial. And James Robinson from Jacksonville, talk about a guy they didn't even expect to make the roster from Ball State. Talk about, he is a tough runner. I say this, I don't know if he'll be a great to elite, Pro Bowl type running back in this league, but I can tell from watching a few games, he looks like he belongs in the league, and he's a guy I want to see more from, and we'll see if he can stay healthy and keep improving. and see if he can continue to help Jacksonville improve and see if he's kind of like a staple of this offense moving forward. And it's that was just impressive to me. He's kind of really beat out Chris Thompson. I thought now with Fournette gone, I thought Chris Thompson could have his shot to be kind of the workhorse running back, but kind of at this point in a guy's career when they're 5-6 years deep. I don't know how many years Thompson's been. I think he's been in the league longer than 5 or 6 years. I think when was he drafted? 2012 or 2013. So he's been in the league like 6. I think it's his 7th or 8th year. But what you've seen is he is what he is, and he's never going to be the feature back. But James Robinson does look like he's the feature back of that offense. So, good for him, and good for the Miami Dolphins. And this is a team that did not want to start 0-3. I think this is a defense that is greatly improved. Still doesn't have a lot of stars on that defense, but has some guys that just want to compete and really get after it. Especially on the defensive line. So that's kind of my takeaways from Thursday Night Football. And so I want to do some picks against the spread here. I think this will be kind of a fun segment. So Rams at Buffalo, -2 Buffalo. I think that the Rams will defeat Buffalo by a touchdown and cover the spread. I think this is a potentially high-scoring game. So if you want to bet the over in this game, I think that would be a bet I would have some confidence in. So. And then the Raiders at New England -6. I think this is a hungry New England team coming in after the loss. I think the Patriots win by 10 in this game and cover. And then the Bengals at the Eagles -5.5. I think the Eagles definitely don't want to go to 0-2, but I think this is a close one. I think the Eagles do not cover, but I think the Bengals lose by 3, and so I would take the Bengals in this game. Texans at Steelers. I think the Texans win this game. This is a team that doesn't want to go to 0-3. They'll be hungry, and the Steelers haven't really played the best teams. They played a team of the backup quarterback in the Broncos after Drew Lock got hurt, and then a Giants team that's not very good. So I think the Texans take this one and get in the win column. So, and then the Ravens-Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this one. They bounce back after a lackluster performance, even though they pulled out the win with the Harrison Butker field goal against the LA Chargers. I think they get the win here over the Ravens. Ravens -3.5. So, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Big Time Football Talk. Make sure to stay tuned for more clips and episodes from the show. Till next time, peace.